The voicemail came at 2:17 a.m. I remember the exact time because I wasn't asleep. I never slept well after moving to Hollow Creek, a forgotten town buried deep in the woods of northern Maine. The kind of place where fog clung to the ground like it was alive, and the trees stood too close together, whispering when the wind passed through them. My phone buzzed once on the nightstand. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Almost. Then I saw the voicemail notification. One new message. I frowned. No one ever called me this late. No one even knew my number here. I pressed play. At first, there was only static. A low, crackling hiss that made my skin prickle. Then I heard breathing. Slow, ragged, familiar. Daniel. A voice whispered. My stomach dropped. It was my mother's voice. She had been dead for 3 years. Daniel, please, she said, her voice trembling, like she was crying. Don't let it in. The message cut off abruptly. I sat frozen on the edge of my bed, my heart pounding so hard it hurt. My mother died in a car accident back in Ohio. I was the one who identified her body. There was no way, no logical explanation, for her voice to be on my phone. I checked the call details. The number didn't exist. Just a string of zeros. I told myself it was a prank. Some sick joke. Maybe someone from town had found old videos online. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. Because the voicemail wasn't just her voice. It was her fear. The next morning, I went into town to ask around. Hollow Creek had one diner, one gas station, and a general store that smelled like dust and old paper. Everyone knew everyone, and strangers stood out. When I mentioned the voicemail to the woman at the diner, she stopped wiping the counter. Did it come at night? She asked quietly. Yes. She didn't meet my eyes. You should delete it. That's it. I asked. Someone uses my dead mother's voice and I should just delete it. She leaned closer. People here don't answer calls after midnight. And we don't listen to messages that come after. Why? Her voice dropped to a whisper. Because sometimes, they listen back. I laughed nervously and left, but her words followed me all the way home. That night, I locked every door, every window. I placed my phone face down on the table and told myself I wouldn't touch it. At 2:17 a.m., it buzzed again. This time, it didn't stop. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Voicemail after voicemail. I stared at the phone, sweat dripping down my neck. Finally, against every instinct screaming inside me, I picked it up. 3 new messages. I played the first one. Daniel. My mother said softly. It's getting closer. The second message had another voice. My father. Son. He whispered, his voice shaking. You need to leave the house. My father had died 10 years ago. The third voicemail was different. No static. No whispering. Just a sound. A slow, deliberate knock. Knock, knock, knock. And then breathing, right next to the phone's microphone. I dropped the phone. At that exact moment, I heard the same knock from my front door. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. The knocking continued. Slow. Patient. Like whoever, or whatever, was outside knew I was awake. My phone buzzed again. A new voicemail. I didn't want to listen. I really didn't. But something deep inside me needed to know. I pressed play. "This is the last warning," my mother said, her voice no longer gentle. It was strained, almost wrong. "It learns faster every night." "Learns what?" I whispered. The lights flickered. Then the knocking stopped. Silence flooded the house, thick and heavy. I waited for footsteps, for laughter, for anything. Nothing. I convinced myself it was over. I was wrong. The next morning, I found muddy footprints leading from my front door into my house. They didn't come in. They went out. From the hallway. From my bedroom. As if something had already been inside. I packed a bag immediately. I didn't care how crazy it sounded. I was leaving Hollow Creek. As I reached my car, my phone buzzed one last time. Unknown number. A voicemail. Against my better judgment, I listened. It was my voice. Perfectly clear. "Hi," it said cheerfully. "You're not home right now. Please leave a message." My own voicemail greeting. Then I heard something else. Me screaming. The message ended with a soft laugh. Not human. I drove for hours, not stopping, not looking back. The fog followed me longer than it should have. When I finally reached a city, sunlight breaking through the clouds, I felt safe for the first time in days. I changed my number. Deleted everything. I thought it was over. Until last night. At 2:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number. One new voicemail. I didn't press play. Because I already knew what it would say. I heard it from the hallway. In my own voice. Calling my name.